welcome, dear friends, to our time of devotional reflection for Sunday, July the 16th, 2023. I'm Brian J. Munro, pastor of Kitimat First Baptist Church in beautiful Kitimat, British Columbia. We are following John MacArthur's devotional book entitled Drawing Near, Daily Readings for a Deeper Faith. And today's entry is entitled Set Apart for God. From the scriptures we read from 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, the following. But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His wonderful light. Our main thought for today is holiness involves the decreasing frequency of sin and the increasing frequency of righteousness. Pastor MacArthur writes, Christians are a holy nation, a people set apart from sin and hell to an intimate relationship with God. Originally, Israel was God's holy nation, but by unbelief, she forfeited that privilege. Now the church, which consists of both Jews and Gentiles, is His unique people, which will remain so until the nation of Israel repents and receives her Messiah at His return. That's prophesied by the prophet Zechariah in the 12th chapter of his book, in the 10th verse. Biblical holiness, which you can be called sanctification, is often misunderstood, but it needn't be. When the Holy Spirit delivered you from the domain of darkness and transferred you into the kingdom of Christ, you became His special possession. That doesn't mean you're sinlessly perfect, but it does mean you're no longer a slave to sin, the devil, and death. That's positional sanctification. Practical sanctification is the decreasing frequency of sin and the increasing frequency of righteousness as you progress in your Christian walk. Sanctification should not be confused with false standards of holiness, adoption by those who, like the Pharisees, attempt to be holy through external means, or who, like the Stoics, have a passionless devotion to duty, or who, like monks, isolate themselves from the world, or who, like quasi-Christian psychologists, replace sanctification with introspection, self-analysis, and improvement of one's self-image. True holiness begins with a love for Christ Himself. That's what compels you toward greater sanctification. Peter said that you were chosen according to the foreknowledge of God the Father by the sanctifying work of the Spirit, that you may obey Jesus Christ. That's 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 1 and 2. Christ Himself became to you wisdom from God, and righteousness, and sanctification, and redemption. You read that in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 30. In Jesus you were saved, which is the beginning of sanctification, and in Jesus you have every resource necessary for progressing in holiness. Dear friends, I thank you so much for taking a bit of time to listen to this devotional reflection as written by Pastor John MacArthur, read by myself. I pray that you've found it to be a beneficial time. I've taken Pastor MacArthur's suggestions for prayer and for further study that are attached to this devotional reflection, and I've placed them in the description portion of today's video so that you have them to interact with. And I suggest that you do that. Pray as he suggests you pray. Do the additional study that he suggests you do. It will deepen your understanding of these things. It will help you in your walk with Christ. And until we can be together again tomorrow to hear another reflection from Pastor MacArthur, I bid you go in the peace of the Lord.